Bro, I can't believe how hard people want to make my life, okay? So I'm back in the normal setup, the great setup of this area, you know what I mean? So basically, I go and I message my advisor because I want to switch my major. I want to do something, okay? I notice I have 6 years in retail experience and I wanna go and, switch over to business so I can do with what I'm more comfortable with and I still enjoy as much as engineering. Okay, so I'm like, all right, I'll just message him. It'll be fine. I messaged him 12 days before my spring semester started. I was like, this is perfectly fine. I'll be able to get a response back from him. It's J term. He's working still, so we're good, right? He messaged me. I didn't get a message back, so I'm like, all right, whatever. That's great. 12 days later, my first day of my semester, I message him probably around 11 a.m. and I'm like, hey, just checking up, making sure that, everything's going all good and everything. You probably didn't see my message since, it was, J term. You probably didn't check it as much, your email. And he goes, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm like, well, I'm just thinking about swapping my major a bit here. Could you just refer me to someone if you can't help me out with like switching over to a business major? And he goes, well, I can help you out. You just take a couple business classes and such, and then just if they people were like, you know, dealing with this, if the people were like, oh, hey mate, like I'm going into these classes. You can't take these classes because they're for this specific major. You just talk to the teachers and they'll waive the thing for you. And I'm like, great, that's great and all, but here's the thing. I just asked if you could refer me to someone. He never referred me to anyone. I didn't tell him an email back. I was like, all right, thanks. I'll figure it out because I'm like, I'm done. I'm not gonna wait for another email to come in. I'm just gonna go figure it myself. All right. He didn't even give me a name of anyone to help out with. So I went and I searched up for some business majors that my school had. I went to their homepage and I looked through all the majors. And then I found one I liked, and I was like, great, I'm gonna do this. I found the lady right there. I requested for the information, got her email from the information that I was requesting, and I sent her off an email. And then she goes, hey, can you send me your resume and such like that, and just stop into my office? And I was like, okay, yeah. She responded relatively quickly within the day, and I was like, all right, that's great. And then I'm like, hey, here's my resume. Here's all this stuff. You said that this major requires like this and that and the other. And I'm like, I have that in my work experience and such. And she's like, oh yeah, just stop into my office and such. And I'm here on campus all week and such. And I'm like, all right, what's the room number? I sent that with my resume. And she goes and she's like, well, I was talking about, you know, how like your course or your the major that you have chosen requires this. It's for people are like who are in the business degree working to move up. And I was like, excuse me. Like she's like, this is a mid-program business degree type thing. And I'm like, okay, let me stop you right there because this is a bachelor's degree, a 4-year degree. You can take next to any bachelor's degree immediately. Okay, I don't know what's going on with this lady. Okay, but and she said stop by my room. I'll be in. Again, I didn't get an answer for the room, so I'm like, all right. I sent her a short email. I didn't even put best and my name. I just said, hey, what's the room number I can come by you? I saw that, on the page it was this room number that I could stop by. I don't know exactly what room it is. I'll try and stop by tomorrow. And she's like, hasn't responded yet. So I'm trying to do this because I have heavily waitlisted classes here. And there's 30 and on the 30th of January, I cannot pick up any more classes. And that means no one else can either. And these are heavily waitlisted. So I want to be able to switch my classes if need be before, this whole thing is done. And I can't deal with it. Like, they give me vague, like, it's like they're, like, way too busy or they're way too lazy to read my whole entire email. Like, you can't just take a second to just be like, hey, this is the room number. Just, hey, you know what? I know this is the person who's in charge of the general degrees that you're looking at. And I'm like, all right, great. That's great. No, it's literally like that, and I'm like, I need to be able to get. I'm not gonna wander around 5, 6 different halls just to figure out who in the world is doing, or who in the world is this. And I'm not gonna look at all the name tags. I'm not gonna look stupid walking around. I want to know exactly what the room is, and I want to set up like an actual time, so I don't have to wait for them to come in. And I'm like, this is just stupid. And I let it go. That's where I'm at. I'm trying to switch my degree, but they're making it a lot harder on me. So I might just stick with engineering because of how painful they're making this to swap. I don't know. That's just my experience so far. It's people just don't have time to answer emails, and I'm like, it takes 5 seconds. It takes 5 seconds. Trust me, I know. I email a lot of people on the daily. Not as much as like people who have like a professional job and email for, but yeah, I email a lot of people and it's a pain.